Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. Really appreciating you taking out time to check out this video. Do what the thing says on the screen around this area. Yeah, right around there. Appreciate you in advance. All right, it's time to get back onto some beat 'em up action because there are so many and we got not too much time left. So we got to make sure we get these in because more than any other type of game, I think beat 'em ups are kind of like my foundation in gaming. Like if nothing else, a good beat 'em up, and sometimes not even like the best beat 'em up. Like I could just play them for hours on end. And I want to show you one of those. You know, you've probably heard of it, a series called Captain Commando. Now I say series, but there was really only one game. But this game, originally I had the SNES version, but because of the Capcom Beat 'em Up collection, which is fantastic by the way, I get to show you some of the arcade footage. And you know, it's not that much better than the SNES version, but it's definitely better. One of the things is it has 3 players, so that's always fun. But those of you who don't know about Captain Commando, you know, a lot of you probably got introduced to him through the Marvel vs. Capcom series, which is okay. You know, it's really cool. And you probably didn't really understand who those other people that show up when he does one of his supers, right? So let me introduce you to him, right? So you have obviously the Captain Commando, but then you have Ninja Commando, you have Mummy Commando, and then you have Baby Commando because, you know, why wouldn't you have Baby Commando, right? And you know, this game is nothing. I always equated it to like the SNES version of Streets of Rage since they never had one, where there are really cool things and very interesting things that they try to do that a lot of other beat 'em ups didn't really try. Like there's, you know, a lot of different weapons, you know, very similar to what we end up getting from like Alien versus Predator. There's a lot of different, you know, attacks that you can do. You got a dash attack, which is something I always appreciate, right? It's the one thing that Streets of Rage 2 did not have. And even when they put it in 3, it didn't feel right. But each of the commandos play a little different. So, you know, Captain Commando, he's the leader, so he's got to be the jack of all trades. Then you have Baby Commando, who's the grappler, who you can do the jumping pile driver with. You also have Ninja Commando, who's, you know, obviously the fast one. But like, you know, there were certain little things that were really cool about this game, like throwing people into the background, very similar to like Batman Returns, where, you know, you're breaking the background with the enemies and stuff like that. But then, you know, you have different attacks to where if you do a jumping attack, it's one move. But if you do a dash and you jump an attack, you get a whole different move. So a way for you to mix it up. Because, you know, we can be honest, right? Beat 'em up, sometimes they get a little repetitive. They get a little button mashy. And, you know, having different abilities and attacks makes it to where, you know, you find like ways to keep the game kind of interesting as you go through. And then you find like that one move that works the best. So you start doing that the whole time. Like me with Blaze in the Coco Show. Just keep doing that and you'll never be in any danger. The other thing about Captain Commando that I always appreciated, but also sometimes was very frustrating, is that the game is like 12 levels, like 12 stages, which isn't like, they're not all equally length. So that's kind of one of the bonuses, or like, you know, kind of balancing for it. But game is kind of long. Like, you know, I do prefer a 8-stage beat 'em up or less in some cases, but Captain Commando is a little bit longer. But if you have 3 players, it doesn't really seem as long because you can kind of go through and, you know, dish out a lot of damage and kind of get out of it kind of fast. But if you're playing by yourself, which I did on a lot of occasions, especially on the SNES, then it takes a little bit more. And, you know, luckily with the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle that you get free play, so it's unlimited continues, because in the actual cartridge version, the home console version, I think you got like 3 for normal and like 4 for easy, and I think like 2 for hard. So not a lot of lives, and you know, they're not very giving with them either. I think your score has to be like 50,000 before you get an extra life. So game can get pretty tough because, you know, they do the thing where they swarm you and, you know, enemies override your moves. But this is what we're here for. It's a beat 'em up, right? Don't think twice about it. We go through museums. There's clearly a chase stage where you got to be on like some sort of hoverboard and things like that. Like all the things that make a beat 'em up really fun and you know, kind of the staples of what we expect from it. They all have it here. And each of the characters are actually pretty good. Like there's no bad character. Also, the arcade version is a little more violent than the SNES version. Like when you slice people up on the arcade version, like their bodies will go in half and stuff. And in the home console version, obviously, you know, Nintendo really wasn't going for that. But I know some of you know this character from the Marvel Versus series, but he did start off as part of a team of commandos, right? And he's a beat 'em up legend. So I wanted to, you know, give that shout out to it and show my appreciation for the series. So if you know about this series, you know, let me know. I keep saying series, but it's literally only one game. Be cool if you got another one, but probably not. So if you know about this game, whether it's in the arcade or the home console, let me know. Either way, I appreciate you. Let me reminisce with you. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Peace.